Welcome to Just Minding My Business Radio, where we are moving at the speed of God, learning what we didn't know we didn't know. I'm your host, Ida Crawford.
And I'm your co-host, Ruth Haskins.
So grab a pen and paper and get ready for information that you can use. Welcome to Just Minding My Business, and Happy New Year. We're starting a new decade and all that good stuff, and the holiday is now over. So it's now time to make sure your finances are in order. Today we have Gary Petit-Dor, who has been providing financial services since 2015. Gary's mission is to bring economic inclusion to the African American community and bring $10 billion back into the hands of American people. Well, welcome, Gary. We are so happy to have you.
Yes, indeed. Welcome.
Thank you for having me. I am honored. I am honored to be here to share this screen, share this platform with women who've been doing so much to bring an opportunity to the community of awareness, bringing a platform to educators or entrepreneurs like myself that we can utilize to get our message out. So thank you again, ladies, for this opportunity.
Absolutely, and thank you. Well, I always like to know beginnings.
Okay.
How did all of this get started?
My beginnings started, it started when I was young. It started at, I want to say about 6 years old. Being in the South, my mother was coming from Haiti. My mother's an immigrant, came from Haiti. She's a citizen today, but coming from Haiti, not knowing English, not having the understanding of how economics or the finances worked in this country, she worked in the packing house in the fields, and would be a migrant worker. And when work was done here in Florida, they would migrate up to South Carolina, North Carolina, Maryland, and continue working there. And at 6 years old, I saw my mother, have to get on a bus to leave and force us to stay behind, sleeping on couches at somebody else's house, sleeping on floors. And I just remember, her being gone and still having to, pay the bills back at the house, even though we weren't there. So one year I said to myself when she got back, I'm going to do something about this. And I'm 6 years old and I'm climbing up trees, getting oranges, getting mangoes and getting avocados, and I'm selling them. When I get them and put them in a bucket, and I'm selling as many as I could. And no matter what I did, I kept getting, to that point where I just couldn't sell enough to keep my mom from having to go. So to me, it just became something that I said it's going to happen one day, that, she's not going to have to go. I'm going to make sure she doesn't have to go.
Wow. That's a beautiful story. So tell us about, what's the name of your company?
Dor Business Group.
Okay. So tell us.
My last name is Petit-Dor, but Dor represents to me that new beginning, or like when they say, when one door shuts, another door opens.
Absolutely.
And I truly believe that doors are access ways to, getting past things that we've gone through in life that we don't feel so comfortable about, things that do not, show who we truly are. Sometimes we need to shut that door behind us so that we can move forward on with the life that we see ideally fit for us, or that we dream about. And sometimes, for some people, it's not having a door open to them because of color, maybe because of where they grow up, or association, where they have to create for themselves a door. They must take for themselves the mind of saying, I will create for me a door where there is none. So DOR it stands for dreams over reality, because there are times where your dream has to overshadow what your true reality looks like for so many times. My reality is my mother wasn't there, but in my dream, I could still hear her saying, keep going, keep trying, do the best that you can. And that outweighed my reality of her not being there. And I think that's what I want my business and my company to represent, for others to know that, the dream you have inside, it'll be tough to make it happen. There'll be times where you might not see it on how it will come through or how it will become manifested. But, to understand and have that as what you're holding on to sometimes is the only thing we have to hold on to, and not be hopeless, but have that hope that we'll reach that door and go through it, right?
Mm, absolutely. And I like that analogy of it, because a lot of times you can't see sometimes past your circumstances. It feels like when you're in different circumstances and you can't always see, like that saying goes, your purpose is greater than your circumstances. And I lean on that all the time because a lot of times you can't see, and you've got life coming at you, things that you have to take care of like now.
Yes.
Well, it's one of those things about sometimes we focus so much on what we don't have that we forget to, like you said, closing the door on what we don't have, closing the door on what we didn't have, and really focusing our thinking, our attention, and our energy on what we want. And so often we get caught up, we're okay doing that for half a second, but then something comes in the mail, you get a phone call, you suddenly remember, the car breaks down, and it's like, but I don't have, and it takes us back into that place that we're trying to leave behind. Yes. So I like that too, your analogy, and I like that dreams over reality, because that is something you can hold on to. That's something that people can hold on to as you're talking to them. And I know our listeners are probably thinking, yeah, I like that too. Dreams over reality.
For sure. So tell us some of the services that your company provides.
Okay. We start off mainly focusing on the financial arena, be it personal finances, where it's, a person's personal credit situation. If it's their credit score is low, maybe because of certain issues on there, we help when repairing it. If someone hasn't established their credit, we help them in building credit trustworthiness or credit worthiness. And then from there, we also have a tax preparation service, where if our clients have at the end of the year, like right now, tax obligations, maybe because they were 1099 business owners or made their income as a nurse and had no taxes removed, we want to help them minimize their tax bill that they do have, keeping more money in their pocket. Or in other cases, some people who are getting into business that don't understand yet the advantages that business owners have from record keeping, big advantages that they could use towards reinvesting in their business. We help them with that. And also, we travel into business credit, helping businesses establish business credit off of their EIN, where they can now take care of their business with little to no personal guarantee, and also have access to capital to maybe have lines of credit, loans, maybe qualify for grants that may be minority-owned grants, women-owned grants, but showing them how to qualify for that, or contracting with the government by having a SAM number and also having a Duns and Bradstreet number, showing them different strategies like that. And then we go into, at the end of the day, there's so many entrepreneurs who are, fighting this fight for wealth. But if we don't tie it in the back with life insurance or with retirement planning, then we are, sometimes rowing the wrong way. At least to cover your family, the legacy you want to leave behind. Having life insurance in place is very important. And for many entrepreneurs or business owners, we do not have the 401k to fall back on. So it is our full duty to tax plan or retirement plan, if it makes sense, and going into possibly setting investments.
Absolutely. Okay, in terms
Sorry,
of
a little mouthful there.
Yeah, that was. We need you to come back and break all that down for us.
Okay.
yes,
Yeah, absolutely.
so as an entrepreneur, in terms of on a job, we have access to a 401k. Typically, most companies kind of make you do it. They automatically sign you up for it. A lot of companies do that because they see the value of you putting away for your retirement. Now, as a business owner, that's something that we have to physically do. Okay, so talk to our audience about what they need in order to start that 401k or that self-employed IRA.
Yeah. Well, one of the things I sit down with my clients and we do is we have a financial review as to where you would like to be, just to get a full picture of what is taking place with your retirement years, or your, like we say, your financial freedom years, the year and time where you are no longer working, but now it's an asset that's going to, take care of your financial needs. And as you're saying, for those on a job, maybe they have the 401k, but for the business owner, it starts with that, having that sit down and seeing, what am I expecting from Social Security, if anything? What will the cost of living be in 10 years or 20 years from now with inflation? What will my needs be as far as mortgage? Will I have a mortgage still? Will I have it paid off? If these things will still be in place, that's where you want to sit down and have that conversation about putting in place a SEP, a IRA, something that will be able to outpace inflation, but also be safe. Because we understand investments in the stock market in 2018 or 2008, we saw the hit that so many people took. We saw the same hit in our 401ks also. Some people lost their dreams, their savings. And now many employers are going away from the pension plan, going away from, we'll take care of you for the last 30, and they're going into contribution accounts, where if you do not contribute, they won't either. Saving them monies so they can invest and reinvest in their companies. Whereas in the past, we understood there were pensions, regardless if I put into it or not, the company was going to be able to take care of me with a pension. And so that's where even the employee who at one time had that as a fallback is now being forced to find discretionary funds, or a little bit more to contribute to it. So for business owners, it's that much harder, because you guys, we're paying for our gas, we're paying for our rent with that same income, we're paying with our birthday parties for our children, anniversaries. Like every dollar that we get, we're utilizing in our everyday life, as well as having it invest into our business. So that's why it's so crucial to build that retirement account, because you want to get to the retirement years and have that asset, even if it isn't the business itself, but that safe investment vehicle that can give you a return on your investment annually.
Yeah, because a lot of times we do work hard, and it's like, and then you're constantly putting back into your business. The money that you're making, you've reinvested in all the time. So where's a good place to start? Let's just create a scenario. So if, let's say you're a new company, maybe you're not making a whole lot of money, but I always think that consistency is a whole lot more important than quantity. a lot of times. Because sometimes you can take a little bit, as long as you put that little bit every in some type of consistency.
Yes.
Then you can see that build.
Yes. Something that would be good, and again, there's 4 things you want to look for in your investment vehicle. Safety is one. You want to make sure that it is safe, and number 2 is growth, that it allows, some type of growth that may outpace inflation, because inevitably inflation is going to be running in the race. Then again, with that, there is taxation. You want it to be tax-free. What that means is, as the money is growing, you want to have that growth compound without being taxed.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So as it's growing, you would rather your 50 turn into 100, your 100 turn into 2, your 2 turn into 4, versus it being taxed every time it's growing.
Mm-hmm.
And in the game of compounding interest, that gives you a great snowball there. And lastly, you want to make sure that it has no penalty when you need to take the money out, or gives you an liquidity. It's
right.
So that's one of the things you want to make sure those 4 aspects are there. It is safe. It is something that has growth, and it will grow and outpace inflation. It is something that is tax-free. So as it is growing, that compound interest is something that you get to experience. And also liquidable. If there was an emergency, if there is something that happens, I'm able to go into it without so much of a penalty. Whereas a 401k, there's a penalty. A CD at a bank, there's also a penalty to go into it. So just finding a vehicle that provides that. And what I've found in our research and what we've identified is an IUL, an Index Universal Life, provides you all of those 4 safeties.
Okay.
Yes. It provides you a floor, so that as the market is going up or going down, your floor remains with your principal. So it can only go up. It will never go down.
And what was that called again?
It's an
IUL, Index Universal Life.
Oh, okay. Is that like an insurance policy?
Yes, it is. So it gives you the both packages. It gives you the vehicle that will grow for you, and it also gives your family a death benefit. So now the give or take is that the investment vehicle is not the stock market. So the growth that you may see in the stock market of 23%, 30%, you won't see that. But in the same way of the decline of 10%, 20%, you won't experience that.
Okay.
So the floor keeps you level, but also there's a cap so that you're not able to go so high. And the cap is usually 15%. And that's one of the vehicles that is very safe, that, business owners can take advantage of as they're growing their business. Even if it's small increments into it, it gives them a life insurance benefit if they end up passing away prior to the business growing. Well, at least their family receives $100,000, $200,000 death benefit for them. Or if they're able to, work, grow this retirement account, they can see themselves get to the point where maybe the business is bringing in $3,000 a month, but their investment account is also bringing in $3,000 a month now because of interest.
Okay.
And that'll be your $1 million lifestyle.
Okay, yeah, because I recall going to a seminar, and basically it was itemized that you're going to really need more money than what you needed when you were working in your retirement days.
Mm-hmm.
And because
they don't pay you more. They don't pay you more when you stop working than they did when you were working.
No, I mean, and a lot of times working, you can barely make ends meet, and just think about not working and expenses being outrageous. Or if you just want to live a quality life, what that's going to cost.
Yeah.
Because for the most part, we're going to have the same bills.
Same bills.
And what you
need to go up.
Yeah, the bills go up, and the strategies go up higher. So as they're doing that, we're just reading more books, because what the wealthy do is they raise the salary on their advisors. They incentivize them a little bit more to keep more of our wealth and home. So what I would like to do is share that same knowledge with us. Now, speaking of the bills, right? The bills that we have. So what business owners everybody could be a business owner. So I'm going to say that, business owners, because that's one of the key caveats in America. The haves and the have-nots. The haves are those with the business. They were the landlords, the masses, and then the have-nots were us that didn't have the ability or the access to monetizing our skills and our talents and things like that. So the same way, let's say myself, I drive my vehicle from home to work, and you work at the same place with me, but you have a part-time business. So now I drive to work, you drive to the location to pass out a business card. Your tax deductible mileage now, and I don't have tax deductible mileage. Legally, you can see an increase of $1,000 to $2,000 on your taxes from that simple one move, legally. The wealthy, as you see, Donald Trump hired all of his children. When you see Gerber, they put out a campaign when they were first starting their company. They had a small picture of a very small baby who was a brand ambassador. You'll see commercials in Disney and Nickelodeon where they have young children as actors or in the commercial. Well, as a home-based business or even a small business, a parent can employ their same child, their child, and pay them legally up to $12,000 tax-free.
Wow.
It's
nice. It's IRS Publication 15, Family Employee. I'll repeat it again. IRS Publication 15, Family Employee.
Wow.
Now, for a family where, for some people, they say the new tax laws, didn't benefit us, and it didn't, unless you're a business owner. Because as a family of 4, you're no longer getting the individual tax credit for each person, $4,000. Now you're only going to get $24,000 for all 4. Whereas now, if I'm a business owner, I still get the $24,000, but I can also get $10,000 per child in addition. So that's, again, bringing my taxable income down, saving more money in my pocket, going to my debt, or going to my building my investments. So those are ways to strategize. And for quick, I'm gonna share with you guys groceries. How you write off your groceries, right? You have a webinar or a house party like this, like you're having here with us, and you're sharing your business opportunity with 4 or 5 people, but your company, a Sister Circle Empowerment Network, sponsored this event. So the soda, the chips, the rice, the chicken, the macaroni, that was all paid for by the organization or the company. It just so happened it went into the refrigerator for the next 3 days. But it's a tax deduction for the business.
Okay.
Again, your utilities, your light bill, your portion of your rent, your internet, your heat. These things are tax deductible to business owners who utilize their home as their principal place of business for document entry, for accounting purposes, for scheduling, for bank documentation, for paying invoices. It doesn't need to be that your home is where you meet clients, but it is where you do your principal work of administration. Mm-hmm. So that's why now the cable bill for the kids, that's going on my taxes now. Yes. Yeah. There's many more of those strategies that we can implement, from traveling to family reunions, from going out on dinner dates. These can now become family business meetings. Okay. And you can write off the children as employees versus giving them an allowance. Sam can help me in rubber banding my business cards in packs of 20, my flyers in packs of 10 or 15. Helping in the church, the children can actually help business owners. This is a project we're putting together, but business owners can have their receipts in a bag and have the children come and just take the receipt pictures, which helps in record keeping. And also helps the children in building up for them a resume and showing that they help in record keeping, document entry, helping businesses minimize their tax bill, helping with a profit and loss sheet. But this is how we can, bring more value and more skill into our youth. So as they're applying for their first jobs, they have more skin in the game to say, I'm more of an asset to Walmart. Then a cashier, I can actually document entry and keep track of our books and minimize the company's tax liability.
Mm-hmm. I like that very, very much.
Yes.
That's the one thing that has been sadly lacking, is financial knowledge. Most of us grew up without it. We knew what a bank was, we knew what a check was, we knew what dollars and pennies were, but we didn't know what to do with them to make them really grow. We were told to put it into a savings account. Some, did do the life insurance thing, but to really be financially literate, it wasn't taught. And we weren't exposed to it. We were exposed as a group to spend, to constantly put money out, but never to figure out how to keep it and make it grow. So this is, that's powerful information. I hope a lot of our listening audiences are going, yeah, I need to figure out, what can Johnny do? What can Susie do? Guess what? You are now an employee.
Absolutely.
I mean, they cost so much from birthday parties to events and celebrating, from school clothes to haircuts, and there are opportunities for them to help in the business. Be it passing out a flyer or even wearing the company shirt, as a marketer, as an advertising, material on the child. They can do those things to help bring awareness or light to the business. Social media, many of them can do your social media post for you. So things like that, to incorporate them within the business, give you a chance to not only qualify for the child tax credit, but also get a chance to write off what you pay to them as wages and still have access to that $12,000 now. This is a custodial account. They can't manage that.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
Yes. Now, what about if your child is like an adult and they are helping you in your business?
You can write them a 1099. That helps them also. You'd write them a 1099 versus writing the W-2 for the child. Now, again, we want to understand how to do these things legally, ethically, and morally. So the child would still receive a W-2 at the end of the year, the one that's working as an employee, but they wouldn't have Medicare or FICA taxes. And because they're under the threshold of the standard deduction of $12,000, there's no taxes that they're owed. Because the first $12,000 you make is not taxed. So they can make up to $12,000 before they're taxed. So you'll do that. They'll receive a W-2 at the end of the year. When they go to file their taxes, it's going to be a question that asks, will this person be a dependent on anyone else's taxes? They'll say yes, and the return is over for that child. But for the adult, you'll send them a 1099 stating that they helped in the business for whatever it was that you sent Johnny $100 because his tire got flat. You sent him $200 because his rent was low, because his light bill was about to cut off. You needed $50 for some food. You want to say, yes, I'm going to send it to you, but I also need you to pass out some flyers for me. So now I can write off this money so IRS understands I don't have it. I shall not be taxed for it. And it also can help you if your income was low. But now that you have a 1099, you can show income coming in, maybe qualify for a home, things like that. Or if he had high income and you wrote him the 1099 from the business, again, he's passing out flyers. He's maybe doing social media. So now he's creating for himself deductions to take his income down. Okay. He's also now getting tax breaks because he is a sole proprietor, maybe a contractor, maybe not a great S corp, but he can be that sole proprietor taking these same advantages.
Oh, okay. I didn't think about
that
it.
Makes his tax refund go from $3,000 up to $7,000.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Or a tax bill go from $18,000 down to, let's say, $9,000. Mm-hmm. So that's that, and these are other ways to get the person's finances moving along. One huge way is with your paycheck. What happens is in your paycheck, there's a big chunk in taxes that is taken out. Mm-hmm. IRS put out a publication stating that it's better for you to maximize your withholding and take home more money to eliminate your debt and plan for your future. But people are just putting zero, giving the government an interest-free loan, overpaying in taxes. So what IRS did is they put out a calculator on their website that shows you how much you're overpaying in taxes every week. And for some people, it ends up being an $11,000 overpayment for the year.
Wow.
And that's what you're getting as a refund. Those refund checks are, as the word, refund. That's your overpayment.
Okay.
So that's what's causing car payments to be late, because on your paycheck, you're giving $500 extra away. So if that form was properly, correctly filled, you would see an increase on your pay stub and your paycheck, taking home an extra $500. And in a couple's situation, for some people, that's $800 to $1,000 that they're bringing home monthly. So that's where our $10 billion is, guys. And that form can be corrected, and you would see the change within 14 days on your pay.
So you're saying that you should never do a zero deductible or zero?
Ever. If you read the form alone, line by line, it states put a 1 for yourself if no one else can claim you. Then it says put a 2 if you're married or have a spouse. Excuse me. And then it says enter 3 or 4 for every eligible child. So there's no way you should have 0. Not only that, but there's a second page that is applicable, and you telling your employer, I also have a business that I'm running. And because of that, I need all of my income so I may use it on my business expenses, like mileage, like internet, like communication, like buying supplies, like making sure I have rent paid for my home office. These are all business expenses that we must maintain in order for our business to have a profit or even take a loss. Because the sheet is called the profit or loss form. Amazon had a loss for how many years before they became profitable? Pepsi actually had a loss for its first 2 or 3 years. not selling but maybe 11 bottles or 200 bottles. But, you know, these things happen. Amazon, Google, eBay, these companies on a massive scale have a loss. And we sometimes aren't educated on how that translates to us in a small business.
Wow.
And then there's business credit I haven't even touched on yet, where you can literally get we had a young lady purchase a 2020 Toyota Camry, and she was 3 months away from purchasing it with no personal guarantee. That means no social security number, no background check, and it was all on her business's EIN number. So if tomorrow the business tanks, her personal social security and credit score will not take a hit.
Wow.
Versus if she did it on her personal and had a repossession, it would hurt her credit score so bad. But these strategies that I want to educate, I know there's so many teaching it, sharing it, but I want to come alongside and help raise more awareness to it. From Dr. Claude Anderson, from so many others. I mean, Bill Winston, just so many other educators that are sharing this type of education. And I just want to come alongside and help also. Dr. Boyce Watkins, Dr. Frederick Douglass. I mean, just putting on for our men, our family, our community, our tribe, just bringing the empowerment back and showing that, guys, we can do this. We can truly sustain our own missions and our initiatives and sustain our communities and gentrification and implementing different strategies, and now being the ones that are partnering with county and public relationships. We just raised $7.8 million for affordable housing in Naples by partnering with county and private developers. Combinations like that give our chance to, you know, reinvest into our neighborhoods. And it's just the knowing about it.
Wow. So how do people get in contact with you?
They contact you. No, I'm joking. No, I have a website, thedorbg.com. The B is for business group. That is, just to spell it out, the door is with one O. I guess God wanted to make the door narrow or the route narrow. He took one of the O's out.
Wow,
But it's
this has been power.
Oh, I try to stay. Try to stay around him. He's got a lot to say.
Yeah.
And it's the Dor DORBG business group bg.com. And on there you'll have events where I'm traveling from from Florida, Georgia, Alabama, Virginia. I think we have some talks of Chicago and Indianapolis, or in Gary, Indiana.
Wow.
So wanting to make a tour, collaborating along the way with NAACP as one of our partners. The Deltas have done a great job of supporting me here in Collier County, but still wanting to reach out to other organizations, groups of nonprofit, to share this information with your everyday, working person, or that individual who has a startup idea for a barbershop, for a lawn care business, and just helping them get that off the ground.
Wow, I love it.
Very fine. Very fine.
Absolutely. Absolutely. This is just, finances is very important. Having that financial base and really understanding money.
Yeah.
And how it works.
I mean, I saw my mother do so much, from working in the fields, coming home, and she'd have sodas under our bed to sell for 50 cents and have like calling cards for people who wanted to call other countries and doing so much to try to hustle and make the money. And I started to see is just she didn't understand how the business aspect of America worked, from business deductions and having your business established. My father passed away without life insurance, so that made that she still had to work in the fields. My older brothers passed away again with no life insurance. So again, some of these things could have been maybe not experienced if 50,000, 100,000 would have been left, at least to put us into a home. I know today she doesn't have a retirement account, so it's not as if she can sit back and live that comfortable American dream, nor did she own a home to be able to pass down as an inheritance. So, we experience it, and we want to have that story stop and start helping and empowering the next generation, or even those who still have it in them to leave that legacy by implementing different strategies or just taking on more information to make a different decision.
Well, just in this conversation alone, there's been some really great nuggets that you've put out there. I hope our audience is pretty much writing a lot of this stuff down, because it's stuff that we don't even think about.
Right. And no one is going to tell you. As a rule, no one is going to tell you just ad hoc, this is what you can do. Even if you're talking to someone in a professional sense, in a bank, there's some things they're just simply not going to tell you because it doesn't benefit them. So they let you go step out there, and if you swim, you swim, and if you drown, oh well.
And I love that you say that. There's a saying that my mother said to me, and it stays with me so hard. It's in Creole, it's nager pour sortir, but in English, it's if you swim, you'll make it out.
I like that.
If you swim, you'll make it out.
Okay.
So keep fighting. But with that also, as parents, we can take a strategy of authorized user. That helps our children when they're about to buy their first car or get that first loan. As an authorized user account, you can put them as early as 15, 14 sometimes. They don't get a credit card, but they now get the history of your good credit. And now when they're applying for their first car, their credit score is much higher. That brings their interest payment so much lower.
Down.
Save much more money. And you can take the same initiative in your business, so that now when they're 18 years old, maybe they have a business loan available for them now if they have business history built of 100,000, and maybe they buy their first property or rental property at 19 or 20 years old while they're going to school.
Wow.
Okay.
That's some great stuff.
Yes.
That is some great stuff. So again,
I'm honored to be here.
I'm honored to have you. I mean, you've got me over here ticking and thinking. And again, how do people get in contact with you? Because this is some really good information.
Yes, just really, I'm on Facebook most of the time. I'm a part of a lot of groups. That's a lot of ways. Or you could reach me. My direct number is 239-404-9915. You can also reach me at 414-YES-GARY. That's 414-YES with a Z. Yes with a Z, Gary. And that's my business hotline where you guys can always reach me, leave a voice message. But that's an easier way for people to contact me. The best way to contact me is really to give me a call. Like, honestly, give me a call. That gives me a chance to give you a quick consultation, maybe 5-15 minutes, get a feel for where to direct you, and then send you back to the website where you can schedule an appointment. You can find information on any one of those financial areas that we provide. I also want to provide a free ebook to all of your listeners. It has 101 tips for credit repair, do it yourself, that can save you some money from going somewhere or even paying off medical collections before you run your investigation and get them removed because maybe they're on there illegally, saving yourself thousands of dollars. This free ebook will be accessible to all of the listeners that maybe provide their email to you, and we can send that out to them.
Okay.
We can send that out to everybody.
All right. That's awesome. Well, thank you so much, Gary. You came with gifts and knowledge and all kinds of great things.
I was so excited when you sent me the message. You do not know, I ran around my car and my house.
And you know what I saw, what made me reach out to you was something that you had posted on Facebook about taxes. And I said, you know what, I need to get him on the show. As soon as I saw that, I sent you a message.
Oh, thank you. And again, you know, the more, I believe the more, if my mother was able to have had someone share this information with her, because she had the hard work, she had the determination for her family. But sometimes, guys, it's not that we're not hardworking people. We just don't understand how the game is being played.
Absolutely.
I think if we can share more of that kind of information with one another for the larger picture, we have a great chance at turning this thing around with our innovative skills, our creativity, our spunk. We have that fire. We have that thing about us. And if we can turn that from being consumers to being the creators, having equity and ownership, I think it just does a world of difference for the whole world, not just our community.
Absolutely. And our goal with just minding my business is to bring awareness to people. Yeah. We love people like you who are bringing information that can change lives. Right. So we definitely appreciate you coming on for sure, because we're all about changing lives, and we definitely know you're about changing lives just in this conversation. So we appreciate you coming on and sharing, and looking forward to having you back.
Thank you. And I'm giving the free ebook away. And if you guys can help me, my true dream is to build libraries in third world countries like Haiti, like Jamaica, like Bahamas, like Trinidad, but build libraries in hopes of expanding the minds of the youth. Sometimes they fall into gang-related activities or things like that because they have that hopelessness in them, or they see that there maybe be no outlet. And I know that a mind expand, it can never shrink back again. And if we can do something to bring that imagination to them as youth, I think it does us a world of a difference 10 years down the road when that child is now an adolescent or coming into society. That's my true goal. If we can, help me in building these libraries and getting some books in there.
All right. So how do we do that?
My plan was to initially get together with sororities and fraternities and college students, and usually they're selling their books at the end of the year after using them to try to make some extra money. And I'm going to take my financial literacy and show them how to utilize other skills, maybe improving their credit score, minimizing their interest rates, maybe showing them how to get a little bit more on their taxes in exchange for your books. Help me have your books. Help me help somebody who's never going to get a chance to have this book get it.
That's really creative. I like it.
We'll do an exchange.
Awesome. That is awesome.
Thank you, ladies. And I know it's a big dream, but I know together we can try to do it. And again, that it's one of those things that it's just a dream. And if we can spark somebody else's dream, guys, I think, that's a blessing in life, to help somebody see their dream and
absolutely
work towards it.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, that's what we're here for,
Yeah.
to help one another.
Exactly. And to encourage one another to dream, and to realize that our dreams are really something, they come from a place within us. And if we can dream it and believe it, we can make it happen. Because otherwise we would never have been given that dream. It is something, an individual gift. And I will say it's an individual gift from the Creator. And He wants us to express it. So whatever we can do to help, young, old, in between, to get their dream into reality. Yep, that's what we've got to do.
Thank you, ladies. It's traveling now. Thank you. It's traveling now.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
Thank you so much.
Well, thank you so much, Gary. We definitely appreciate you, and we're looking forward to more collaborations.
Yes.
Thank you. You ladies have a beautiful evening. Have a great year. 2020 is ours.
Yes.
Yes.
Absolutely.
All right. You have a great night, ladies. Thank you for having me.
Word on the street says there's something new at Just Minding My Business Media. You've heard our podcast, Just Minding My Business Radio, that brings news and views you can use. That airs every Thursday at 6 p.m. on iHeartRadio, iTunes, YouTube, Spotify, and Spreaker. Well, now you can watch Just Minding My Business. That's right, Just Minding My Business Media now has a TV presence on Raven International TV Network, broadcast on Roku, Fire, and Apple TV. Your business, through Just Minding My Business Media, has exposure on internet radio, major social media platforms, and now TV, through Just Minding My Business dynamic digital marketing platform. Don't listen to the word on the street. Hear it for yourself. Visit jmb.assistercircle.org to learn how you can take your business, your vision, to the next level. Thank you to the amazing women of A Sister Circle Empowerment Network, ASCEN LLC, and our media partners. Let Just Minding My Business Media promote your business. For information, visit us at jmb.assistercircle.org. That's jmb.assistercircle.org. Voiceovers by RCH VoiceWorks, for when you want to be heard. Call 443-620-4115.
Thank you for tuning in to Just Minding My Business Radio. I'm your host, Ida Crawford.
And I'm your co-host, Ruth Haskins.
We hope you enjoyed the show and appreciate you stopping by. Many blessings to you and yours.